How to win by breaking the rules. See, you follow all the rules and rarely get what you want, whereas there are people who follow none of the rules and yet get everything they want in a much easier way than you currently get. This leaves you feeling frustrated, leaving you feeling like God favors certain people and doesn't favor you. And you start wondering why you can never seem to win like other people. See, today I'm going to teach you how to win by breaking all the rules. This winning is primarily for business, but everything I teach is universal, so you can apply it to relationships. Don't get ideas. Don't try to start getting girls, guys by breaking the rules, please. I want people who are good members of society. And essentially, in order to do this, you're going to need to follow the one rule that the highest achievers I know follow. And of course, I'm going to share this with you later on in the video. So, moving on, I've decided to try this style of video. Let me know if you like it better than the previous ones. But, anyways, so to start off with this video, you need to accept that there are no rules in your life, only opinions. See, the reason why I say that they are only opinions is because for something to be a rule, right? How I think about it, it has to be a truth. Like, you cannot do this. Fair enough, actual rules aren't like this. But when it comes to a rule of your reality, only accept rules that are truths. Now, if you know Hermetic traditions, if you know the value that the subconscious mind has on your mind, if you know the power that your subconscious mind has on your life, you'll know that there are no truths in reality, only what the subconscious mind has accepted as true. See, the best way I can conceptualize this idea is when it comes to people, their beliefs about men and women, the opposite gender. A woman who believes men are trash is. The grammar there was a bit messed up. But anyway, a woman that believes that men are trash is going to encounter men that are trash, leading her to further believe that men are trash. But it's not that men are trash, it's that she has accepted it subconsciously that men are trash. So now the only truths in reality are what the subconscious mind has accepted as true. So that means because she's accepted that men are trash, reality is going to seek to give her situations that confirm her subconscious belief. So it's not that men are trash, it's that she has believed and she began to see. People say that seeing is believing, but no, to see you have to believe. Believing is seeing. You will never see something that you don't first believe. That is why so many people can go through the same thing and take out completely different conclusions from that event. See, yesterday I was driving and I got a ticket, right? And the average person will look at this event like, oh, flip, my money's gone. I was just thinking, it's the universe, it's the world trying to take me out of my ways because it knows that something good is coming my way. As religious people would say, or we would say, is the devil's after me. The devil wants me to get off of my ways and start doing things that I know I shouldn't be doing. So, you need to accept that there are no rules in your reality. There are no rules that you need to follow, only opinions. Now, when it comes to the realm of business, this is especially true because people like to preach certain strategies. They like to preach certain ways of doing things as rules, as truth. But there are no rules, only opinions. The reason why this is true is because the very thing that someone calls a rule, there's someone else that's doing the exact opposite and they are calling it a rule. So which rule is correct? Or any of them more correct than the other, or it matters who is doing the rule. See, I'm gonna dive into what I just said later. Make sure you're taking notes, by the way. I used to have this habit of watching YouTube videos, just listening to them as I was doing dishes, and I realized that it's not helping me because I wasn't retaining any of the information. So a few of these bullet points that I have here are just rules that some people may have. That in order for you, I'm gonna go through all of them. So the first thing that I've recognized, or first thing that's common within my clients, within me before, is that we have told ourselves that a prerequisite to getting what we want is for us to be good people, for us to be moral, right? And the very rule that we see being broken all the time in our realities is we see people who we think are evil, we see them doing these heinous acts, Epstein files. for example, and yet these people still succeed. So there's two things that can come from this. Number one, either you get frustrated asking yourself, how are these people winning by breaking the rules, right? Because you believe that you need to be good to materialize your desired reality, to get that business you want that's making 10K a month, which is stupid. Like, why do you actually don't need to be a good person to get 10K a month, right? There are many despicable people who are making 10K a month. And now I don't say this to encourage you to do bad things. Please be a good person, open doors for people, be kind to women, be kind to men, whatever it is. I just want you to recognize that it's not a prerequisite for you to be moral to get what you want. But anyways, as I was saying, two things happen. Number one, you may be frustrated thinking, okay, how are they winning by breaking the rules? And now you begin to think that they have broken a rule. Or number two is you create subconsciously a rule that for someone to win, they have to not be good, right? You have associated winning with evil. So you see this a lot. People will say that, oh, money is the root of evil. To be rich, to get to 1 billion, you have to scam people. To be that rich, you're going to have done some heinous things. Whether we know it or not, you've done those things, right? So you have created that rule. So the only way in which you can win is by breaking the rule that you've set, right? But let me tell you something. You will never be able to win and break the rules that you have set for a long period of time. The rules that you have set are quite literally the laws of your reality. You dictate what you need to do in order to succeed. And I'm not saying that you can tell yourself, okay, I can succeed from lying in my bed and doing absolutely nothing. And because you have set that as a law that is going to come true in your life. No, you need to align yourself with universal laws. But any law that you make that somewhat aligns itself with universal laws will become a law in your reality. Not anyone else's reality, but your reality. So essentially, you have created the association of being bad, being heinous, doing bad things, being an immoral person to success. Now, you have to think about the indirect implication of this. If you're a normal person, you don't want to be bad, you don't want to be immoral, you don't want to be evil. But because you have associated being bad, immoral, evil to success, you will not succeed. See, one thing you need to realize is we don't get what we want logically. We get what we want subconsciously. And if our subconscious want contradicts our logical want, you will either get your subconscious want or you will get neither of them. That's what tends to happen. So when you believe that you need to be good, right, and you see people who aren't good succeeding, you're either going to get frustrated, which is going to pull you further into not succeeding, or you're going to make up a secondary rule that, oh, you have to be bad to succeed. But approaching this one at face value, which I planned on doing, not going into this whole rant of subconscious associations. If you believe that you have to be good, right, in order to get the things that you want, you sentence yourself to either being perfect morally or not getting what you want when you don't do the right thing. So this is what people say or conceptualize as karma, like the belief that you have to be good for good things to happen to you. And the idea that something is a good thing is just you fooling yourself. Like everything is neutral in this world, but we decide what it is based on our perception. So essentially, you decide that you have to be good, right? So the first scenario, the easiest for me to explain to you is, okay, because you believe that you have to be good for you to get something, you will only get that thing once you're good. So you sentence yourself to a life where you have to be perfect morally. When you don't feel like being nice to that person, you're going to have to be nice. When you don't feel like doing that thing, you're going to have to do it, or else your business is going to suffer. Because you weren't polite to your girlfriend that day, you lost 5 clients. That's what you are sentencing yourself to. And I know it sounds stupid, but I've made a drastic example to show you how stupid it is. But it's good. Be nice to your girlfriend every single day. Perhaps you will lose clients if you're not. But so that's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is now when you are not good in a certain situation, of which you will be, we are not perfect. We are not like Jesus, who can be good every single day and not sin. We are going to sin. We are going to miss the mark. We are going to be mean to the people in our lives. And now, because we have set that rule, when I say rule, conceptualize it as a subconscious belief, rules and beliefs, they're the same thing in the realm of this video. So you have broken your rule, but because it's a rule, it can't be broken. So now that you haven't been good, now that you did wrong to that person, even though you didn't intend to, you now believe that something bad is going to happen. This is essentially what karma is. Karma isn't a base mechanism of the world. No, we bring karma upon ourselves because we'll do something and we tell ourselves, oh, I've done this, so something bad is going to happen to me. So we begin to have conviction in that idea that, oh, something bad is going to happen. And lo and behold, something bad does happen down the line. Is it because that something bad was going to happen because you did that bad thing? No. Is because you invited it upon yourself based on your state of consciousness, based on the conviction that you had about what is coming. See, we think that faith is believing. Faith is more akin to conviction. See, people think that faith, oh, it's just trusting. Sorry. Oh, you just trust, but there's an element of doubt. True faith is conviction, knowing. When you switch on the lights, you can't see it, but there's a light there in the background, like a light switch. Or this one here, I'm going to do it. When I'm going to switch it off just now, I know it's going to switch off. See, it switched off. And I knew it was going to switch back on. I didn't trust that it was going to switch on. I didn't have elements of doubt. I knew. So now, when you do something bad, you now know that something bad is going to happen to you. And that knowing, that conviction now sets in motion for things to actually happen to you, right? The second thing that I'm going to dive into is, you have to do it a certain way. Now, this is especially prominent when it comes to people who talk about, like growing on social media, the way to grow your business. You have to call 10,000 clients a day. You have to do this X, Y, and Z a day. When you believe you have to do it a certain way and you believe it so much that it becomes a subconscious belief, you will never be able to win unless you do it that way. Right? So if you believe that you have to post 5,000 times on TikTok a day to grow, you will never be able to win when you post 5,000 times a day on TikTok. But the funny thing is, you're going to see someone online and they'll be posting once a day and they'll get 10 times the amount of views and likes and engagement that you get. Again, leaving you frustrated, thinking, why are these rules? Why do I have to abide by these rules? And they don't. Anyways. My dog I don't know if that was a fart or a growl, but my dog stays farting like it's crazy. It'll be 2 a.m. and I just hear outside my window. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like, it's happening again. I'm pretty sure that one was a fart. Anyways, this one I hold very dear to my heart. The idea that in order to succeed in a certain way, you have to be black, white, male, female, etc. Essentially ascribing a look, a gender to something. So people who have set the rule that only white people are allowed to do this, and they accept it subconsciously. You may have done this. You may think that because you're black, you cannot succeed to the degree that you want to because you've only ever seen white people do that thing. See, we don't recognize how powerful observation is in programming our mind with our beliefs. You may have only seen white people doing that, so you have made it a rule or subconsciously accepted the rule without knowing that, to do this you have to be white. And now because you aren't white, you're melanated like me. Probably aren't melanated if you're watching this, but you're melanated like me. How are you going to succeed? You might have to become like Michael Jackson to succeed, but no one wants to do that. I mean, some of you do. Some of you hate your skin, which is crazy. But yeah. And my favorite one that I've seen, especially in the business realm and my friends who are traders, is the idea that it takes 5 years to achieve said result. 5 years is just the number that I use. But essentially what tends to happen is you will get into a field and you experience beginner's luck. And then you'll be watching your favorite influencer, your favorite guru. Let's say if you do trading, you'll be watching TJL. And he'll tell you that, I only became profitable after 4 years. Excuse me. He'll tell you that I only became profitable after 4 years. And because you trust what he says so much, you've learned so much from him, you begin to see what he says about trading as truth. So now, because he said, it took me 4 years to become profitable at trading, you accept that as a subconscious truth, thus it becoming a rule in your reality. So now, because you've only been trading for 6 months, how could you possibly be successful when you've decided that I'll only be successful after 4 years? How? How is that going to happen? Like, how are you gonna break your own subconscious definitions or rules? And what tends to happen is it will take you exactly 4 years to do that thing. And this is nothing more than Parkinson's law. See, Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time allotted to it. So if you tell yourself that, oh, it's going to take me 6 months to be successful, it will probably take you 6 months. If you tell yourself it's going to take you 4 years, it's probably going to take you 4 years. And you see this, damn. I don't know what my dog is thinking. And you see this online when it comes to, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I need to stop this. Sorry, my dogs be doing the most. I think bear with me for this video. But you see this the most when you look on the internet. There's some people on the internet who will tell you that you can change your life in 6 months, that you can become successful, start making $50,000 in 6 months. There's some people who will tell you it will take you 2 years to make your first dollar off of the internet. And the thing is, they're both right. See, they're not truths in reality, other than what the subconscious mind has accepted as true. Now, these people, through experience, they accepted, or observation, they accepted that it's going to take 2 years for you to even make a penny online. Other people, through experience or observation, accepted that, oh, it's going to take me 6 months, and then I'm going to be living my dream life. And unfortunately for me, subconsciously, I accepted that it's going to take me years. So I started posting on social media, trying to be an entrepreneur mid-2022. So mid-2022 to end of 2022, I made nothing. In 2023, I made a grand total of $17 online. In 2024, I made nothing online. 2025, we did some serious peas. 2026, it's March, and I'm on track to break the yearly income that I made last year in March, which is crazy. So I'm on track to like 10x. I know it's like a quarter of the way through, so you're thinking 4x, but no. 10x, even 100x what I made last year, and I'm not even joking. So that's how rules affect you. So moving on in this video, I actually don't know what's coming next. Essentially, I've been going through this as I've been writing, but I'm going to cover this again so that you accept it. You have accepted these rules that are up here, that you have to be good, you have to do it a certain way. This is the way. This business funnel is the one that everyone uses. So if I don't use that funnel, I am not going to succeed. It's likely that in your business, in your career, you've accepted certain rules that you can't abide by every single time. So you need to recognize that they're the only truths in your reality are the ones your subconscious mind has accepted as true. So it's not that there are rules that you need to break in order to win, but it's that you have made the rules. It's likely that you have gotten to the point where you feel you feel as if you fully satisfy the requirements of your rules. That's how you got to the place that you're in. So you succeeded last year because you worked hard. Not because you needed to work hard to succeed, but because you worked hard. Or because you believe that you need to work hard to succeed, and you succeed. So this idea here, since you don't believe you deserve to win, you won't, comes when you believe that you need to work hard. That's one of the examples. I want you to extrapolate this. Like, there's millions, infinite amounts of beliefs or rules that you could set for yourself. But let's say, right, I have to work hard. Right? You believe I have to work hard, or you have to work hard. Now, like a normal human being, you don't really want to work hard. Like, I'm anti-Hormozy. Hormozy will tell you need to do 10,000, do undeniable amounts of work so that you're going to reach your goal. I'd rather do the least amount of work that it would take for me to reach the goal, right? But you believe you have to work hard. Now, you don't work hard for 6 months. Of course. Now, since you haven't worked hard and you believe you have to work hard to win, you subconsciously believe you don't deserve to win. You don't believe you deserve to win. Now, because you don't believe you deserve to win, you won't. Belief is everything. Now, moving on, extrapolate this to everything. And oh yeah, by the way, if you're a 6-figure entrepreneur who knows that they have an internal block that is blocking their revenue, their cash flow, whatever it may be regarding your business, click the link in the description. I help people. Oh, damn. How have I messed this up? But anyways, if you're a six-figure entrepreneur who knows they have an internal subconscious block that is preventing them from getting the revenue that they know they deserve and want, click the first link in the description. I help exactly those people. So, next up, you need to recognize that there are people online who win, right? And they don't follow the rules that you follow. And these people who win don't abide by the same rules you do. The reason why I want you to focus on the people who win not abiding by the rules you do is to emphasize that it's not a rule, it's an opinion that has transcended itself and become a fact in your life. See, the more you accept an opinion, the more it will become a fact. But because it's become a fact in your reality, it doesn't mean it has to be a fact. It's essentially just solidified itself in your life. It's like, let's say anyone who's into dentistry or hasn't gone to the dentist in a while. Like, essentially, you will get like tartar or whatever it's called, like plaque. You start getting plaque, you're not brushing your teeth properly, right? That plaque, think of it as an opinion. The more you solidify that opinion, right, the more you engage with it or lack of engagement with it in terms of like your teeth, the harder it gets until it becomes tartar. And now tartar, I don't know if it's tartar or plaque, that's a hard one, but forgive me. Tartar, you can't take it off just by scratching it. That one has to be removed by a dentist. It has now become like a fact in your teeth. But even though it seems as hard as your actual enamel, you can still take it off. So that's how opinions become facts. Like the fact in your reality that you keep on observing, it appears as a fact. It appears as concrete as everything going on, but you can still take it off. But now you would need more surgical means than if you had just observed that rule and be like, it doesn't have to be that way. Right? So the people who win and don't abide by the same rules that you do, they don't believe in the same things as you. Right? Because they don't believe in the same things as you, they don't do things the same way. And they don't believe that things have to be a certain way. They haven't created these preconditions to their success. So they're less limited than you are. There's more possibilities in their reality than they are in yours. See, the more rules you set up for yourself, the smaller you make the box of your reality. So it means if you tell yourself you have to work hard to get certain things, your box is this big. If you tell yourself you have to post things a certain way and work hard, your box gets this big. If you tell yourself you have to be black, but you're white, can't succeed. So that's the thing, right? I don't know what I touched, but my hand feels very slimy. Did I pick my nose on camera without me recognizing? And the reason why I'm highlighting all of this is because likely if you want to learn how to win by breaking all the rules, you need to look at people who are winning in ways that appear easier, more effortless than you. Because no one wants to win by breaking the rules of effortlessness. Like, let's say you have made it a rule that you don't have to work hard. Now you're working 10,000 times harder than you need to. Like, no one wants to break rules in that way. You would want to break rules and be the person who gets things easily. Who doesn't want to be that person? Like, people glorify hard work. I'll be the last to glorify hard work. I think hard work is edifying for the soul, but hey, it's not that edifying for my soul. Like, what's edifying for my soul is the fulfillment of the desire that I want. So if I can get a result and I get it, I'm like, yeah. So now, moving on. What you need to see is that for the highest achievers, the people who are essentially boundaryless or boundless, is they have no rules except one. That rule is them. High achievers are the only rule of their reality. And the truth is, even if you don't conceptualize yourself as a high achiever, you are the only rule of your reality. However, you, by nature of being the rule of your reality, you have created other sub-rules. And because you're a rule and you've created sub-rules, you have to adhere to those sub-rules for things to happen. So it's not those rules are the truths, but you have deemed that those things need to be that way. Whatever you decide is going to work is eventually going to work. You see this on social media. Some people say post 10 times a day and they win. They've decided it's going to work and they post 10 times a day and they win. There's some people who post 3 times a week and they win. Why? Because they've said that I don't need to post that often to win. If you look at Mr. Beast, he probably posts a YouTube video like every 2 months and he has more subscribers than anyone. Anyways, you also need to accept that it doesn't have to be one way. It just has to be the person who is doing it. See, in the highest achievers, you will see that they can often win and have won using differing methods. They have had times where they posted 5 times a day, or they did this amount of outreach calls and they won. They have had times where they did no outreach calls and they won. They succeeded. So it's not that any method was good, it was a person who was doing that thing. You need to understand that reality will only give you what you want when you become enough for the rules that you have set for yourself. So it's not that you need to work hard, but it's that you have told yourself that you need to work hard, and only when you've worked hard, you will become the energetic match. You have the state of consciousness that aligns with that which you want. And only when you have the state of consciousness that aligns with that which you want will reality actually remold itself to give you that which you want. Now, when you tell yourself that you are the ruler of your reality, it isn't you have to work hard, it isn't you have to be in a certain place, it isn't you have to be a certain skin color. It's not that you have to be in business for 5, 10, 15 years before you can succeed. It's not that you now have to have gray hairs and now you're looking like the grandpa, that now you succeed and start pitying everyone. If you decide that you are the ruler of your reality, once you become enough for that one rule, everything else will naturally remold itself. When you become enough for that one rule, reality, the universe, God, they will now be on your side. See, in Islam, they have a very beautiful saying that, what do they say? So I'm going to butcher it. They say that Allah is the way that his follower thinks he is. So essentially, like, God is the way that you think you are. If you think you have a wrathful God, you can have a wrathful God. If you think you have an abundant God, and that's the one you've accepted, that is the God that you're going to experience. See, a lot of the times in religious circles, we have accepted that our God punishes us. See, there's a God, people like to make the distinction, the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament. So when you think about the God of the Old Testament, right, you have accepted a wrathful God, one that will punish you. Let's say you make a wrong, now you have to sacrifice 10 goats, right? You have accepted that, and that is what you experience. When you do wrong, you find that things start happening to you, and it's not necessarily that God is punishing you all those times, but you are punishing yourself by the conviction, or through the conviction that something bad is going to happen to me. But that is a topic for another video. So essentially, remember that the people who win by breaking the rules are people who have no rules except one, them. If you want to learn how to break the rules or win by breaking the rules, you have to become like them. You have to be the rule of your reality. Now, to become the rule of your reality, this isn't centered, this is pissing me off. Do you guys care if I put everything on screen? Because I don't want you to see everything. I'm just going to read it and not take in all the notes that you need to take in. But anyways, to truly become the rule of your reality, you have to accept that there are no rules in reality. Only, my bad. If you want to be able to win by breaking the rules, you need to accept that there are no rules in reality and begin to make the rules for yourself that favor the life that you want to win. You need to now decide the parameters of your success. You need to decide how you're going to succeed. You need to even decide when. And this is Parkinson's law again. People like to tell themselves, "Oh, it's going to take 10 years for me to do this," and it will take 10 years because you've decided it's going to take that long. But there are people who have achieved what you want to achieve in 10 years, or you have set 10 years for yourself to achieve in 6 months. You gain nothing by taking 10 years to succeed it. Quite honestly. Oh yeah, I want to be successful now and have 2 children, have a wife, whatever. There's nothing wrong with being successful then. But it's like, dude, you can be successful in your 20s. And if you're 30 now with 2 children and a wife, you don't have to wait until you have a third and you're 45 and all your things are compounded. You can be successful quite literally in a few days. So the concrete thing that I want you to do today, actionable step, is to find the outlier in your industry and identify with them. If you don't know an outlier, become them internally, because what you are internally will soon reflect externally. So let's say in your business, there's someone who started the business and began succeeding after 2 months. Find them and identify with them. Say, I'm like this person. I can succeed quickly. I don't need to do this. I don't need to follow the rules. I don't need to attach myself to industry standards. All industry standards are is the average, and you don't want to be average. The reason why it becomes a standard is because everyone abides by it. If everyone abides by it, then it's not good, because not everyone gets good results. So you need to accept that deep down you desire to be an outlier. Right? You desire to be able to get the results that you want quickly, effortlessly. And the only way to become an outlier is to become an outlier internally. Emotionally accept that you are an outlier. Convince yourself, gain conviction that you are an outlier, and you will soon become an outlier externally. Now, if you want to learn how to convince yourself in that process of visualization, I detail that in quite literally most of my other videos. So yeah, that is how you learn how to win, by breaking all the rules.